Hi everyone. This is our home activity lesson for integrated pest management as well as green cleaning experiments to try. So let's get started. So integrating or actually using integrated pest management techniques and green cleaning at home has several benefits beyond the purposes of just the campus urban farm training. In addition to being good for the environment, it's actually safer for pets and children and you. You'll also find that a lot of integrated pest management and green cleaning techniques are more cost effective. Since they're DIY home remedies, you're not paying that upcharge for a commercial solution, and often is composed of natural, eco-friendly ingredients that you may already have on hand. And if you go to the store, a lot of the times those specialty commercial solutions are mostly just chemical solutions that are mostly made out of toxic chemicals that are really bad for you or the environment or both, and mostly water. So it actually is a way to save money as well. And sometimes the natural solutions are more effective than the commercial chemical treatments. If you think about it, the commercial solutions don't want to 100% solve your problem, because then how would they get you to buy more of their product, right? So sometimes using integrated pest management using green cleaning can be more effective. And ultimately, all of these solutions are better for the environment. So these are all practices that make it kind of a beneficial solution for you and for the planet we all live on. So in terms of using integrated pest management in a home setting, a good example is maybe approaching a common pest such as fruit flies. So we've all had them. They're fruit flies that continuously just should magically show up in our kitchen or living spaces. And integrated pest management would use the approach of trying to look at this holistically, as opposed to just, maybe spraying the area with a pesticide or something to get rid of those pests. So starting off with physical or mechanical controls, the number one thing in an integrated pest management approach in this situation would be to just remove or throw away the food source that they're really attracted to. Once you do that, making sure all the remaining areas are clean, and making sure that the fruit flies don't have any sort of incentive to come after that area. Another solution after that is to set up a DIY trap to make sure you're removing the survivors, which we'll go over next. And then preventative measures such as checking food in future to make sure that there aren't rotten areas or things that fruit flies might be attracted to, and just general house cleaning practices. So that's really how you can implement an integrated pest management approach in this situation. So for that trap, so a really simple DIY eco-friendly fruit fly trap that works really well is simply getting a cup, filling it, quarter halfway full of apple cider vinegar, adding a couple drops of dish soap to that solution to make sure it breaks up the surface so that the flies fall through when they come in, and then placing that cup near the fruit bowl or area that they're attracted to. And this actually works really well because the fruit flies are attracted to that apple cider vinegar smell, and when they go in, they essentially drop through the surface thanks to the dish soap and then essentially drown. So it's a good way to get rid of a lot of fruit flies at once without having to resort to a commercial trap or a lot of chemical cleaners to make that happen. Another common scenario that we deal with in a home situation are ant invasions. So ants are notoriously hard to get rid of, but an integrated pest management approach would really be to start by looking at what's attracting them into the house in the first place. So trying to remove that food or water source if possible. And also looking at the physical entry points, and not just jumping straight into the poison option, but actually looking at, okay, are they continuously coming through a crack in the wall or maybe a gap in the caulking, something that you can physically block. So you can actually use masking tape or caulking to actually block off the entry points into the house and actually get rid of them that way. To get rid of that invasion, spraying with some kind of eco-friendly cleaner and or a DIY ant repellent to remove that scent trail to stop the ants from continuously trying to follow that trail into the house. And then in future, trying to keep that food or water source contained, maybe in some Tupperware containers or something like that, or just out of reach. So for example, like with pet food or something like that, where you have a bowl out, maybe you can like put it in a cookie tray or something with a lot of water to prevent the ants from crossing over, or raising it up off the ground so they're not getting that easy access. So things like that in terms of looking at it from an integrated pest management approach. A couple of fun experiments you can try is making some of your own DIY ant repellents. So ants generally don't like the smell of mint or peppermint. So you can actually get a few drops of peppermint essential oil on a cotton ball or something and actually use it to wipe the surface areas where they're starting to come in, and that'll naturally kind of deter them from wanting to enter that space. You can also physically plant mint around the perimeter of your home where you don't want ants entering, and they'll naturally try to avoid that plant as well. So that's a nice eco-friendly way of deterring them from coming into the space. Very similarly, they also don't like the smell of cinnamon, so you can actually use that as a little bit of a barrier to sprinkle on the ant's path or around an anthole opening to stop them from wanting to come out of that out into that space. So that's another thing you can try to physically sprinkle onto the areas that you want them to avoid. Also, similarly, another common ant repellent is that they really don't like cayenne pepper either. So you can actually create a spray out of this by basically sprinkling pepper around the area. You can also mix water and cayenne pepper into a bottle and actually spray it down and spray it on the ants. And it won't kill the ants, but it will deter them from returning. So it's another way to basically deter them from infesting a particular area if you want them out of the house. Similarly, lemon juice, very similar concept, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 8 ounces of water in a spray bottle, and basically just spraying that solution around the entryways, the perimeter of the home, or any areas where you generally see ants to try to keep them away from there. And almost exactly the same is vinegar. So if you do a 50-50 solution of vinegar and water in a spray bottle, that actually will help deter the ants as well. You can put that on windowsills, doorways, etc., basically to try to deter them from that space because they don't like the smell. And on top of that, that actually makes a very, very effective general cleaning solution. So you can actually use this exact same solution to basically clean almost all areas of your house. So it's great for general surfaces. You can actually use this on glass and mirrors as a replacement Windex solution. And essentially all you do is just spray and wipe. So that's actually what we use at the campus urban farm as well. So the generic cleaning spray is actually just the bottle, and anytime you replenish it, just add 50% full with white vinegar and 50% full with water from the sink, and you're good to go. So that's essentially the general cleaning solution that we use as well. More green cleaners you can try in a home setting specifically is that, with baking soda, it actually is a very eco-friendly alternative, but also a very effective abrasive and very safe. So you can use that if you need that extra scrub for bathroom surfaces, or if you really need to get in there and do some deep cleaning. And then if you actually do a little science experiment, and if you ever combine white vinegar with baking soda, it'll actually cause the baking soda to bubble. So this actually makes for a really good drain cleaner. So if you actually load up your drain with baking soda and pour white vinegar on it, it'll actually bubble and actually create a clean your drains. And you can also use that for a toilet bowl scrub, where maybe you sprinkle baking soda around the toilet bowl and then spray some white vinegar on it. It'll create a nice little bubble for you as a general cleaning solution. And it's great because this can actually replace specialty cleaners to a great degree. So if you just replace all your uses, you're basically getting rid of the need to buy a bunch of separate specialty cleaners that are probably full of toxic chemicals, and consolidate down. And even if you want to apply this for just in general, so even if you don't want to use the vinegar solution for whatever reason, you can actually just focus on getting a single all-purpose cleaner, and that'll ultimately help you save money, as well as all these separate containers and storage space, as well as the chemical load that you're putting into your home environment. And to that end, we also do have a general cleaner solution mix. So we got some sort of, just natural general cleaner solution mix. So if you need something a little harder core, you can also do a 50-50 mix of that and apply that in the same, spray bottle if the vinegar solution isn't working for you, or you have an extra stubborn stain or something like that when you're cleaning at the farm. So generally, when you're using green cleaners at home or at the farm, you can generally just use one of the sprays, get a rag of some kind and just wipe it down, and then that's a good cleaning solution for your space if you want to try that out. So in terms of other tasks at the farm, when we say laundry, it's a little different than what you might be used to. So major issue or maintenance task that we need to take a look at is that whenever we get visitors to the farm, they're generally using gloves. They might be, you or they might be using towels to wipe down spaces with the cleaning solution or otherwise. So generally what you want to do is make sure that that's laundered after every visit that you make. So if you came to the farm and used some gloves, use some towels, you want to throw that into the farm sink. And just make sure if you need soap, just use a squirt or two of the dish soap that we have on hand and just like really mechanically try to scrub that as best as you can by hand, and rinse with water. And all that water goes into that bucket, as you're probably aware from your introduction. So we can actually apply that back onto the plants too, so we're not wasting any water. Again, that's why we need to use eco-friendly dish soap, so that'll actually break down when it's applied to the plants or the compost piles without disrupting our growing experiments and things like that. And generally, once you're done washing all of your gloves and towels, you can just hang dry that on the rack that's inside the nursery shed. You can see the picture there. And it's actually, hang drying is a good practice at home to help save energy. So if you're in a situation that allows, consider breaking up the need to, go set the dryer cycle and actually just hang dry, because that'll actually help save on your energy bills, and be a little more eco-friendly as well. So with that, that's pretty much our practices at the farm, and as well as some activities you can try at home. So feel free to take a look at this video, and try these experiments out in your own home settings. Thanks so much.